Picking up from the last video, let's talk about the layers palette. Your layers palette is right here toggled with your pages palette. If it's not there, if you can't bring it up, you can always go under window and bring up your layers palette right here. There you go, and it pops right up. And we've done all this work, but notice how everything is under layers 1. If I just click on this, it shows me all of my work so far is under layer 1. You need to have all your layers separated, color-coded, and named intuitively. So you don't want everything jumbled together in one layer. You can just double-click this layer 1 and it'll give you a layer options palette where you can name it, you can color code it. All of those options are available right here. So say if I wanted to start separating out, now I'm going to do it after the fact rather than set my layer up and place it in the right layer right at the outset. But I can certainly do it after the fact and sort of, we call this, I'll put Graphic Design Tallahassee Community College on this, so I'll just call this my mast, as this is my masthead. So all I want on here is this right here, right? If I select it, I get this little blue frame around it. Right now, that's the color code for everything. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, give myself new layers. Right here at the bottom of my layers palette is create a new layer. I'm going to give myself a couple of new layers so I can start moving things around. Now that I have my masked layer, all I want is this on here. I want layer 2, perhaps has nothing right now. Maybe I want my text, my 2 columns of type in there. So that's this, and I hold down my shift key and this. So that's these 2 items right here. I can go ahead and just move them in my layers palette itself and change the layer. There you go. That one moved. How do I know that? It has a red frame around it. It's color-coded red now. The next column, I'm going to move and put that also in layer 2. So both of these are now color-coded red, and I'm going to call this text. So I'm starting to get some structure to my layers palette now. Let me go to layer 3. Maybe I want to place an image. At this point, let's see, I can go under File, remember, Place. This is what your go-to command for placing text or an image. And I'm just going to pick up my Dune.tiff image. It's handy. And notice how it's loaded on my cursor. I'm going to go ahead and just place it right there. I was on layer 3. It's got a green frame around it that tells me it's on layer 3. If I open my layer, it tells me Dune.tiff is on here. I may want to size this. I can go under Object and go to Scale. 60% is a little much. Put in a value. You can preview it. Maybe that's a size you like. Click OK. You can certainly move it around and, you've sort of placed it somewhat where you want it. And only problem is it's masking the text underneath. You can fix that problem. You can wrap your text around it. Look at this in your options palette. It gives you text wrap options, wrap around bounding box. You can also bring up the palette under window. If you go under text wrap right here, it's this dialog box right here. And I'm going to, this one tells you no text wrap around bounding box. There you go. Your type just went all around that image. However, it doesn't have any padding, so it's a little tight. We can fix that. Again, you have your top, bottom, left, right that are linked together. Notice how it's separating out and giving you this padding around that image. Once you've got it looking the way it looks good to you, you can just kind of click away, eyeball it, You can select it, and now you can come in here to your layers palette, click that layer 3, and maybe you want to call this your graphics layer. You may have more than one going in here. So you're starting to get some organization, some structure to your layers palette. You can certainly move things around in your layers like we just did. You can move individual items from within a layer, or you can move the stacking order of the whole entire layer. If I move graphics to be below my text layer, look what happens, it's masked. So same concept applies. It's a deck of cards that are made of acetate that you can see through. So you can certainly change the stacking order, just move the layers around. I'm going to move my graphics layer back up above the text layer, so now you can see it. So use your layers palette. This is the eyeball that is familiar to you. You can certainly come down here, turn that eyeball on and off if it's distracting. There is that locking mechanism right here. So now I don't accidentally move it. Sometimes you can lock and unlock as and when you need to. You know, your layout can get very complicated, and it's nice to have the ability to do so. And I've got one extra layer. I can just go ahead and put it in the trash can, get rid of it, and there you have it.